Hello Star Seekers. This is Jeannie from Horoscope Forecasts 369. Whether you're an Aries or a Pisces, we're here to guide you. Let's cut through the cosmic noise and dive into today's horoscope predictions. Friday, July 21st, 2023. The astrology of today, all signs. Today's Sun Pluto opposition pulls up deep, dark, or buried and unresolved matter. Through feelings, relationships, and events, we can more clearly see areas of life where we've been holding on to something too tightly or giving away our personal power. This can be disruptive and uncomfortable, but it can also heighten self-awareness. A tricky or buried issue might now reach a head. We may feel on edge, volatile, or defensive. There can be inner drama or external circumstances undermining our perception of powerfulness. We may experience a battle within ourselves between light and dark energies, or we can meet this theme through others. Outside forces remind us of our need to take charge of our lives, but shortcuts to gaining control are unlikely to work out. Instead, we should formulate strategies for managing our fears or worries. However, we're also heading toward a Mercury-Chiron trine that helps open our minds to learning from one another. This influence aids with communicating our feelings constructively. We're relaying our messages in relatable, accessible ways. Good energy is with us for discussing or giving more thought to sensitive topics. We're especially alert, observant, and willing to understand. It's easier than usual to communicate our message now, although this is less about getting the exact wording right and more about conveying our intentions. We might discover new ways to approach problems. Today's Aries horoscope. Today's Sun-Pluto opposition can produce some tense undercurrents, dear Aries. Your personal interests compete with your duties and obligations, and this can divide you and create a somewhat chaotic atmosphere. This transit can pull up fears or worries, perhaps temporarily exaggerating them in your mind. Fortunately, it can lead you to better understand your feelings about a project, your work, or your specific ambitions. However, if there are unreasonable expectations and demands on you, you need to find a balance. Consider that tensions in your interactions tend to have power dynamics at their root, and pressures from within are likely to do with performance, ambition, and expectations. Pre-existing problems in your relationships or work can build to a head. While you could be feeling pressured to handle matters, you'll benefit most from a slower, steadier, and more straightforward approach to your life. Fortunately, a Mercury-Chiron aspect promotes clarity and self-expression. You are more willing to listen, absorb, and explain. You have a unique or different view of life these days, and this trait stands out right now. Today's Taurus horoscope. Interactions with others can be a little strained or edgy in spots today with a Sun-Pluto opposition in play, dear Taurus. With this transit, people may hold on too tightly to their methods, ideas, and opinions, which can cause some friction. A buried issue can emerge, or tension can revolve around opinions or how someone communicates with you, particularly if you feel that person is trying to overrule you. If someone isn't catching on to your ways or views, it may be better to wait things out. You do stand to learn a lot about your relationships and yourself today. Aim to be honest with yourself about inner resentments, jealousies, and worries, since these can help you see your desires more clearly. Fortunately, a Mercury-Chiron trine, also in play today, helps you take stock of what is and what isn't working in your life. Conversations that help heal and repair the rough edges in a relationship can figure strongly. You might arrive at diplomatic solutions to problems quite organically with the help of this transit. Today's Gemini horoscope. There can be much to learn or share, dear Gemini, and conversations tend to flow nicely. Different approaches to emotions, feelings, intimacy, and family or household matters can be successful. Still, there can be an obsessive quality to your interactions and a one-step forward, two-step backward feel to the day with a Sun-Pluto opposition in play. Consider that overthinking can complicate things, and suspicion may throw you off track. Money matters and questions of ownership may be tricky and require careful handling. If you've recently felt undervalued, frustrations can come to a head. A problem that may have weighed you down could reach a turning point, since this transit tends to throw light on some of your worries and fears. You might recognize the need for support or better management of your support systems. While relationships or financial matters may feel loaded or intense now, this is a time to release yourself from problems or burdens or make a plan to do so going forward. You'll feel lighter as a result. Try not to dismiss any feelings of jealousy or resentment, since they can show you some of your desires and needs, perhaps pointing you toward a new interest or path. Today's Cancer horoscope. Today's Sun-Pluto opposition directly challenges you, dear Cancer, since the Sun is in your sign. You could be dealing with a difficult person or situation, or a conflict may occur inside you. People could challenge you or try to steer you in certain directions, or you could feel blocked by circumstances with this aspect in play. Alternatively, an attachment can temporarily keep you from exploring your options or new opportunities. You may need to break free from a situation, at least for now, to clear your head if it's been holding you back. If you do, the increased clarity can be a driving force to make empowering changes. A friend or network may be beneficial in this regard. Note, too, that this Sun-Pluto opposition can bring a realization to your life. While it can undoubtedly set off relationship problems that have been brewing under the surface of things, any conflict that emerges today can be revealing of vulnerabilities and areas where pressures are steering you off course. Pluto transits reveal your fears and excessive attachments so that you can learn from them. They also show you where you may have been giving away your power. A Mercury-Chiron aspect, also in play, boosts your ability to listen and share. You feel empowered by the truth, and you're approaching it mindfully. Today's Leo horoscope. The moon spends the day in your resources sector, dear Leo. While you may prefer to keep things simple with this transit, a complicated transit highlights subtle problems that could relate to fears of betrayal, jealousy, or resentment. Your ruler, the Sun, forms its yearly opposition to Pluto, and your needs seem bigger than life. Pressures to get things done can be enormous, even if you're not feeling up to par emotionally and physically. Your desire to unwind and relax may be challenged, and it's best to recognize your need for a healthy balance. If you've been doing far more than your share, this may no longer be sustainable. For the best results now, find healthy outlets for your frustration and make plans to improve your routines and workload. Watch for micromanaging your life in the areas of health and work, since it can lead to a feeling of burnout. A Mercury-Chiron influence, also in play, encourages envisioning solutions and developing strategies for dealing with problems or achieving your long-term goals successfully. If you can focus your energies on something fun rather than routine, you can do especially well. Today's Virgo horoscope. The moon spends the day in your sign, dear Virgo, raising the emotional barometer. While some healthy self-focus can be in order, you might focus on a matter and make too much of it with the Sun's yearly opposition to Pluto in play. This transit can spotlight areas of over-attachment that limit your happiness and growth. You may find yourself at cross-purposes with someone or in a battle with yourself. Something can hit a nerve. Be as honest with yourself as possible, because if you're clinging to something so tightly that your friendships or personal growth are suffering, you'd be wise to take small, substantial steps toward managing this fear. This transit helps reveal insecurities. Nevertheless, help can come from behind the scenes or through an illuminating conversation. Your ability to view past matters in a new light can take you places today. Today's Libra horoscope. Buried matters can come to light, dear Libra, with the Sun-Pluto annual opposition occurring today. While possibly uncomfortable initially, they'll push you toward the light, helping you in the long run. Tensions can surface, and resisting, fearing, or avoiding change may worsen things. It's best to recognize a need to make adjustments. Making changes should be done gradually for best results. Rushing things when you're tense won't help. It's an excellent prompt to clean up your life in fundamental ways, particularly around the home. It can do wonders for you and the energy you have available to put into your career or responsibilities. Once past this, connecting more deeply with a partner or special friend can figure strongly. Willingness to share feelings is notable and helpful, opening up the possibility of improvement. You instinctively know what works and what matters, and you are taking especially good care of money or resources. Today's Scorpio horoscope. The Sun and Pluto form their annual opposition today, dear Scorpio, which can bring tensions to a head related to communications, learning, or transportation. Or, old grudges may emerge, and there could be a sense that someone is trying to dominate the other. Because Pluto is returning to your communication sector these days after having briefly moved on, unburying matters is very likely. Be prepared to let go of a lose-lose battle. This transit tends to pit your desire or need for new experiences against your attachment to your routines. Even with a lot on your plate, you must take a break occasionally to refresh yourself and clear your mind. Consider that you may limit yourself if you stick too closely to certain habits and methods. Aim to make room for spirit-boosting activities in your life. Conversations about work or health matters can also be helpful today. Talking about your needs and concerns with someone you care about can be refreshing. Today's Sagittarius horoscope. Today's Sun-Pluto opposition can pull up some old hurt or resentment, dear Sagittarius. There can be challenges in relationships or the sudden awareness of something that you've laid to rest and now need to face, and this can be about money matters or power dynamics in a relationship. Consider that others' emotional stances may merely be a cover for a desire to win your approval. This transit nudges you to confront your feelings or recent circumstances related to ownership, possessiveness, money, and boundaries. If you've been fearful of changes with your financial affairs or in your intimate life, you may need to examine how this attitude has prevented you from growing and thriving. Keep your mind open and attempt to rise above fear-based suspicion, which tends to figure strongly when Pluto is potent and challenged as it is now. Fears of standing alone can be at the root of tensions today, and if so, it's time for some self-honesty so that you can work on the problem. Once you have perspective, conversations can be revealing as you click not only on practical levels but also on physical and emotional ones. Sharing ideas can be pleasant and instructive. Today's Capricorn horoscope. Buried emotions and possibly old regrets or hurts can emerge now, dear Capricorn, with the Sun and Pluto forming in opposition. You could feel that you're shouldering far too much, which can strain your relationships or interactions with others. If you aim to stay open and flexible, which can be challenging to do right now but not impossible, you put yourself in a better position. If you find yourself dwelling on a small matter, examine what may be the actual source of frustration. While disruptive, this aspect can help pull problems into the open. Try to treat this as a time to better understand yourself and avoid counting on someone to do exactly as you want or expect. Fortunately, with a Mercury-Chiron aspect also in play, family interactions can be revealing, supportive, and insightful, and conversations are more constructive than usual. Situations may serve to nudge you to get on top of your finances. A desire for security and comfort can also be a motivator. Today's Aquarius horoscope. You might make important discoveries about your feelings and fears today, dear Aquarius, with a yearly Sun-Pluto opposition. The trick is to recognize some of the things going on inside you that may be limiting your opportunities. Aim to tackle guilt, insecurities, or attachments interfering with your productivity or proper routines and self-care. It's a fine time to examine your fears, but it's important not to give them more power than they already have by dwelling on them. Balancing your attention to mental and physical health or work and relaxation seems to be most important now. Working on what may be holding you back from taking better care of yourself is helpful, having the potential to greatly benefit you as you learn where to focus on making improvements. A Mercury-Chiron transit also in play can boost conversations that may bring new insight into a relationship. News, advice, or insights can point you in a positive direction. The goal is to enjoy interactions without judgment or expectations. Today's Pisces horoscope. Today's Sun-Pluto opposition can point to a struggle, dear Pisces, as you've been experimenting with new ways of enjoying yourself, but tensions with others or projects can interfere with this pursuit. Or, the pressures of a long-term dream or friendship can be intense. Do your best to prioritize your enjoyment and sense of play since you'll likely need a break. This transit illuminates a problem that may have kept you from enjoying opportunities. If you've held on too tightly to people or projects at the expense of expressing your true self, you'll now feel the restriction and look to make changes. Events have a way of revealing situations or pursuits that have been draining you of energy or taking up too much of your time. This transit helps you see the discrepancy if you've been so worried about a social matter that you miss opportunities to have fun and enjoy yourself. Learning more about what may have been robbing you of your good spirit can be motivating. With a Mercury-Chiron transit also in play, it's a good time to make the most of what you have or own, whether it's a latent talent, knowledge, or material goods. You could find that you're solving other people's problems. It feels good to do so, and it might also lead to solving one of your own. As we wrap up, I'm Jeannie thanking you for tuning in to Horoscope Forecasts 369. Remember, these are guides, but your will shapes your destiny. Like, share, subscribe for more astro insights, and let the stars guide you until we meet again. Take care.